Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. As part of SEO Saturday, I'm going to be doing a quick video here just to kind of describe for you what is SEO. A lot of misconceptions around this area, a lot of questions, and a lot of false beliefs. So I'm just going to go ahead and dispel a few things, hopefully educate you a little bit so that you know what it is, how to make it work for you, and how to use it properly to improve the quality and quantity of customers visiting your website. So that being said, I'm starting with this graphic here. This shows you pretty much everything that as a marketer you could be doing to market your business. And if you notice, the number one thing isn't Facebook, it's SEO. There's a reason behind that. It's like the blue chip stock of the marketing world. And you keep putting into it, and the ROI keeps getting less and less and less because it keeps bringing in more and more. So it's a great investment. Although it starts slow, it builds up and pays for itself in the long run. So you definitely don't want to skip that. That being the case, you can see that in our second slide. The most fundamental thing is first get a website, then have your Google My Business profile, which is this right here. And then start building out your socials, your yellow pages, your mantas, your Psychology Today. Depending on what niche you are in, you're going to have your main publications that you want to be listed in. So just getting yourself out there first. Then step 2 is SEO. Building up those profiles, bringing in more domain authority to those profiles, getting links to those profiles. These are things that we're going to start covering in SEO a little bit. Now, the idea behind SEO is to, well, like I said, improve the quality and quantity of the customers coming to your website. How do you do that? You do that by making your website easier to find. You want to have the right search terms associated with your website, and you want to show up for those search terms, preferably above the fold, which is an old newspaper term meaning towards the top. People don't like having to dig for something. Plus, Google utilizes what's known as list bias. So if someone does their search right here, if they don't find you on page 1, they assume that you must just suck, so they're not going to bother with you. It's a bias that naturally assumes that the first result is the best result, and the lower down you go on the list, the worse the results you're going to get. This is correct, but it unfortunately is the way people think. So how do we get above the fold? There's 2 types of SEO to keep in mind, on page and off page. So for on page SEO, you want to start with a good site audit. You want to look at your website from a technical perspective. You want to link it up with Google Search Console and grab all that information and data that they are tracking on your website. You can then use that to optimize the content of the website, the technical aspects like your source code, your schema, your meta tagging, your alt tags, your header tagging. And then you can utilize some of the tools like what I mentioned before with Mangools to do a little keyword research. So that way you can find the correct terms that people are actually plugging into Google to find guys like you. And you can use that information, those search terms, and work that into your content, work that into your headers, add some videos and title them with those search terms, add some images, some blogs. All that stuff enables you to talk more about your site, talk more about your business, and that makes you look like the authority in your field, in your area. And when you're the authority in your area, in your field, then you get in the top 3 positions. Like say this guy right here. Okay. Same search. This is one guy that I was talking to earlier. Now he's in the top 3. That's what these 3 are. That corresponds with these 3 positions right here. So you can see in part of Houston, he's doing pretty good, but on the whole, there's a lot of room for improvement there. So you want to not only rank well for the right search terms, but you want to rank well for those search terms in the right place. This is another aspect of SEO, but I'll do another video on Google My Business SEO. There's a lot more to that one. But on-page will definitely help you get there. First, you have to have the right keywords in your profile, in your website, in your blogs, and you have to talk more about them. You have to utilize them in your tags. All this comes into play. Here's another good graphic that kind of describes what goes into the rankings, what all the ingredients in the cake. So first you need good content. That's like a quarter of it right there. Plus having the correct keywords in your title tags, your meta tags. That's another 17%. And then we get into niche expertise, which is 13%. So altogether, these three right here are over half of all the ranking factors. And that is nothing but just using the right search terms that correlate with your business and plugging away at them in your blogs, your tags, your content, all that stuff. That's all on-page SEO. Then we get to off-site SEO. That's where we see things like backlinks. This is kind of like appealing to the popularity contest aspect of Google. You basically want to have other sites that do have authority, that have been around for a while, mention you. You can do this through influencer marketing. You can do this through guest blogging on their site. There's many different avenues here. You can do it through social media marketing, publishing content through social media regularly, like blogs, your videos, like I'm doing right here. Just by putting fresh content out regularly and pushing it through all your social media channels, this also grabs a lot of eyeballs and pushes more traffic through your site. You can also push traffic through your site, of course, through paid ads, but as far as free venues, it doesn't hurt to push content and create your own stuff. And if you want to run some ads, I can also talk to you about that as well. These are all ways of increasing the amount of traffic on your website, though. And when you have the right keywords, the right on-page SEO, and you start picking up more traffic through your website, these are all indicators, traffic is user engagement, that your site is definitely something someone's looking for, so Google's going to start pushing it closer up to the top, where it can be more easily found. And as you can see in this graphic, if you're not on page 1, you basically don't exist. It drops off a cliff. So that's the whole idea behind SEO. Getting up on page 1 where you can actually be found, where all the traffic's, 90% at least, happens. You start dropping below page 1, you may as well not exist. So that kind of covers on-page and off-site SEO. Now, to paint a picture of what kind of time frame you're looking at with an SEO investment, it's not a quick fix. This is not something that you're going to pay someone one time and suddenly they're going to get you on page 1. If anyone says that, they're full of shit. Run. They're going to fuck up your website and they're going to get you banned from Google. I've heard stories about people going on Fiverr and buying 5,000 great backlinks and suddenly their site is nowhere to be found. There's a good reason for that. Google doesn't like that shit. Don't do it. So when working with your on-page and off-page SEO, by continuing to put out good content, by continuing to add to your website, add blogs, add images, add updates on your socials, and just grow organically, you're going to start not getting a lot of response, but it'll snowball over time. It'll start picking up steam. So you either by doing this yourself, or say you're paying someone like $1,000 a month to do all this stuff for you. That $1,000 a month is going to have a terrible ROI that first couple months. But as it goes, suddenly now you're getting 2, now you're getting 5, now you're getting 10, now you're getting 15, 20, 25, 30. You start getting more and more hits, and it just keeps growing. That's why we call it the blue chip stock of the advertising world. Because as you can see with ads, it's pretty much a flat line. You could pay $500 a month and get like maybe 5 hits on all your ads, and then the next month you're getting nothing unless you pay that $500 a month again to get 5 more hits. So it's just a treadmill there. You're not growing or anything. In fact, Facebook ads even decrease over time. So they're really not very good. And if you have something in the more high ticket area or construction or whatnot, it just doesn't match with search intent. When was the last time someone had a busted pipe and went to Facebook to find a plumber? It just doesn't happen. You have to consider search intent of your target client. If you are in the skilled trades, chances are people are going to look on Google and try to find someone close by, and they're going to look right here first. So that is why you want to get right there. And SEO will definitely do that. And as for ads, they will also do that. There's a couple spots like above this and below that where you can actually pay to be listed, and it'll get you results, but it's not going to, your ROI is going to be the same every month, basically. You get what you pay for. SEO, it'll grow. So that $1,000 a month that will start with not much will quickly, by the end of the year, be pulling 30, 40 hits a month, and you'll be laughing. Now, the problem is that first couple months. This is where I talk to a lot of clients, and they are hemming and hawing. A lot of them don't want to pay and get nothing that first couple months. It's rough, and they don't see the long game here. Over time, it grows and it pays for itself, but that first couple months, you gotta expect to just put in the work and know that the results are coming down the pipe. That is where it pays off. If you could just be patient for that first couple months and let SEO grow, you're not gonna, it's like a plant. You plant some tomatoes, right? You're not gonna get a tomato the next day. You're not gonna get a tomato the next month. But 2-3 months down the road, you're gonna have more tomatoes than you know what to freaking do with. So it's best to think of it that way. You wanna grow it. You don't just pay once and be like, oh, I'm not on page 1, you suck. So that, I hope, gives you the right mind frame going into this. When you're working on your SEO campaign, know that it's going to be a long-term investment. It's going to take a while, but once you do start pulling in better rankings, like you can see here with one of my clients in the San Francisco area, you're going to have more clients than you know what to do with. When you're the top 3 for a large geographical area like this, yeah, you're going to need to hire more people. So that, I hope, gives you an idea of what SEO is and what to expect when working your SEO. This is a foundational element for a reason. It's the blue chip stock of the marketing world. It's got the best return on investment over time, but you do have to wait and try not to harvest off that tomato plant before it's ready to give. So hopefully that explains SEO in a nutshell for you. If you have any questions, feel free to message me or drop comments below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube page for more informative videos and hopefully fun and engaging content. That being the case, I'll talk to you later. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.